We are going to be making homemade pasta today. Easy, simple, and I've got 8 shapes we're going to make this pasta in once we get the dough made. So I'm going to show you how to make simple, easy pasta shapes that you can do right at home. So if you don't want to buy pasta anymore, you don't have to. The dough is only 2 ingredients and it doesn't take very long at all. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're using semolina flour. Now, you can use an alternative flour like bread flour or all-purpose flour, but semolina flour has high protein, which is going to allow it to have structure when it comes to our shape. All right, we are doing everything by hand, no machine whatsoever. So first thing we want to do is make a well. And I just want to put my disclaimer out here. If I pronounce any of these shapes wrong or anything like that, if I am not making it perfectly, I am not Italian, okay? So this is just what I have learned to do, and I'm sharing it with you guys, okay? So I'm put my water in here. Need quite all of this. That should do it. Then you just want to start incorporating the water with the flour using a fork. You're just getting it in there really well. And from here, you want to knead it until it turns into a soft but not dry dough. You want it to be soft and a little tacky and just not dry. Okay, we are about done with our kneading. And this is what you want it to look like, a nice smooth ball. And you'll know when it's ready because you can press in on it and the indent kind of stays. See how that indent stays in there? That's when you know that your dough ball is ready. Just round it on out, make it nice and smooth. Then we're going to wrap it in plastic wrap and let it rest for about 30 minutes. At room temperature, you want to wrap it really, really tight. We don't want any air in there. So make sure it's wrapped tight. I'm going to actually double wrap it to make sure that I have it wrapped tight. Okay, so we are ready to make our pasta shapes. You're going to need a baking tray of some sort to put your pasta on. And I also just want to say, remember, I am not a pasta maker. So if I pronounce any of the shapes wrong or I don't make them quite like their professionals do, forgive me, they work for me, they'll work for you. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is just go in and sprinkle just a little of the flour on my surface that I'm going to be putting the pasta on. We're going to dust each set as we make them in just a tad bit of flour, just so they won't stick together while we make the rest. So I just dusted it lightly, just so that when I first initially put them on there, I know that they won't stick together. So I'm going to sit this aside a little bit. And you're going to need some other, either more plastic wrap. I like to use this plastic bag here because it's simply easy. As you cut some of your dough off and you get ready to make your shapes, keep the rest of your dough in plastic wrap. You don't want it to get dried out. First shape that we're going to make is called fusilli. And you're going to need a wooden skewer or metal skewer to be able to make the actual shape. Okay, put a little flour down here and on here. And I'm just going to knead this just one more time real quickly. Nice ball here. Cut a piece off. Then I'm going to put this in this plastic bag and set it aside. Now for this, we're going to roll it out into a log. As you're rolling it out into a log, you're rolling back and forth and pulling your hands out at the same time. That's going to make it long. I like to roll my skewer in some of the flour just a little bit. Then starting at the top, put your dough and then you're going to roll it. And you can actually just take your hand and take it around the skewer just like that. I'm turning the skewer as I'm putting it on there. And this is kind of long. They're usually half the size. And then you want to roll it, just roll it forward. You're flattening it out some. You're flattening it out at this point. And then you just simply take it and you want to pull it and get the skewer out of there. I'm actually pulling the skewer out. And this is what you have. And because this is extra long, I am going to actually cut this one in half. Which is something you typically don't do, but I'll make the rest of them a little bit smaller. Then we'll put that on our sheet. Again. Next on our list is going to be linguine and fettuccine. Okay, once you have it rolled out like this, don't worry about it if it's zigzag and not perfect because we can always square it off ourselves. Just go right down the edges there on both sides. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Take your edges off. And never throw away your scraps because you can use those for something else. Wrap them up in plastic wrap. Set it aside. Okay, now from here, we're going to roll it up from both ends, making small little pieces and just roll it up close to the middle from this end and then bring in this end. Same thing, small pieces, just rolling it up. So now we're just going to cut small pieces here. And then when you unravel them, this is what you have. These are the linguine. And then for the fettuccine, you just make larger ones. Just like that. Next up, we're going to make some bow ties. You want to take your dough, and we're going to make small rectangles out of it. First, we're going to just cut it. And from here, for a bow tie, you want to just take it and pinch it in the middle, just like that. And then you have your bow tie. I'm going to show you something else you can do with these bow ties as well. Set that there. I'm going to do this row first, then I'm going to do this other row differently, slightly differently. Okay, if you have a pizza cutter that has the serrated type edges, you can use that to make your bow tie look just a little bit more fancy. I have one, I can't find it. So we're just going to use a serrated knife. Same effect. A little bit harder, but same effect. Okay, again, do the same thing. Pinch the middle end. And there you have your bow tie. Next, we're going to make penne. Cut that in half, so you have like a rectangle. Now for this, you can use a smaller wooden skewer, but I like my penne a little larger, so I'm actually using the spatula handle. It's a wooden one though. Put it on the corner of the dough and roll it around just like that. I have this on it, I'm coming to the edge just to roll it a little bit to flatten it out. And then you have your penne, just like that. Okay, we'll set that aside. Okay, so now we're going to make gnocchi. So we're going to cut a chunk off. And we want to roll it into a log. When you're rolling the dough out, you actually need a drier, non-floured surface. It works best. Okay, so now we can roll it out a little bit better. When you're rolling it out with the rolling pin, you'll need a little flour on your surface or on your rolling pin, but when you're rolling it out on your countertop like this, no flour is needed. Okay? Now we're going to cut small pieces off. That one off. That's the end piece. You can make these larger or smaller. I tend to go somewhere in the middle because, well, I'm not a pasta maker. So take this, and they actually have pasta wooden boards for that. I don't make pasta enough to have that or specialty pasta. So I'm going to use the back of my fork. I'm going to put it on the back of my fork just like that. And with my thumb, I'm just going to roll it down. And roll it off my thumb. And you see that? See? See how it looks on the inside, the other side, and that side from rolling it off of the fork. Just put it on the back of the fork, take your thumb, press down, and roll forward to the end. Pull it on off. That's all we're doing. Back of the fork, roll down, and pull. This is actually one of the easier ones. I know it may not look like that, but of all the ones I've made so far, for me at least, this is the easiest one. And pull it off. Cavatelli is next. It is pretty much like the gnocchi we just made. I don't need to have anything on here. So we're going to roll this out into a log, kind of like that size, just a little bit larger. We're going to do the same thing, but on the counter for a smooth finish. We're going to put our thumb in there and just roll it over, just like that. Then roll it up and physically close it. So it looks like that, just like that. Smooth on one side, open on the other side. I'm going to put just a little bit down here because that one kind of stuck. Yep, that's much better. And roll it on over. This is what you're making. Just like that. Easy peasy. We're going to make a braided pasta. I think it's actually called Lorigitas or something close to that. But it's also like a braided pasta. So we need a long, thin roll. Oh, I guess about maybe 3 inches should be enough. I always have to guess at this one. So I'm going to cut it about right there. It may be too much, it may not be. A long strip like that. Then you're going to take your 3 fingers and you want to wrap it around your 3 fingers. You want to make sure, and you're kind of like pulling a little bit as you go to make sure you can wrap it around at least twice. And then you want to take it off your finger and you just want to bring it around. Just like that, through and through and through, all the way around. Just keep doing it until it becomes completely like a bracelet, like braided or like a bracelet. And it should look like that. It should look just like that. I'm gonna put a little flour on this while we work. Let's do another one. I'm gonna try to make this one a little bit thinner and my strip a little bit longer. 3 fingers and wrap it around. And then intertwine them. The bigger your hands, the bigger the ropes will be. Of course, you can use 4 fingers, you can use 2 fingers. Keep turning it and turning it till you have a rope. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed the pasta making day. I'm going to bring you all up close so that you can see each one now that they're all done, so that you can take a look at them and see exactly what they look like. If you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. Channel members, thank you so much, and returning subscribers, thank you. If you are not subscribed to the channel, take a second and subscribe to the channel. Help me get to 1 million subscribers. I really would appreciate it. And I hope you all enjoyed this easy pasta recipe and this easy pasta making tutorial. So what we have, starting up here, we have our fusilli, our linguine, our fettuccine, our bow ties, penne pasta, gnocchi, my favorite to make, cavatelli, and our braided pasta. Okay, I will see you all next time. The good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Bye-bye.